welcome back or welcome to a brand new video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Amy, and if you're returning, hello. In today's video I will be doing my November TBR. So I decided to switch it up this time. So I got this inspiration from Sara. I absolutely love her videos. I think I mention her in nearly every book video I do. She does this thing where she gets her Instagram followers to blindly pick her TBR for the next month. I did 8 stories, all with 2 books, and what I did to make it easier is I related the emoji to the book, and then what I did is I also made sure that certain genres were together. One book was a romance, I made sure the other book was a romance. If the other book is a thriller, I made sure it was a thriller, and so on. Quite a mix of like books because I wanted to mix up the genres, especially for November, cozy season. I like to read like a range of books, especially like dark romance and like thrillers and mysteries and fantasies. So that is what I've done. I have about 16 books over here. If you see me looking over there, that's all the books over here, and they're in a pile of 2 each. So there's about 8 piles. I made 8 stories, as I said. Put them on Instagram with a correlating emoji to the book. Got my followers to vote for the emoji, and obviously they're based on that. I see what the scores are, and then that book will be the book that I read for the month. Before we start, as I always say, if you're new to this channel, make sure that you like and subscribe. That helps me all the time. And if you've been watching my videos but not subscribed, definitely follow me as well, because I see that a lot of people that are watching my videos are not subscribed, and I want you guys to join our little crew, our little family. So let's get on with the video. So the first one I have is this pink poll that I did. So one of them has a campsite and the other one has a dog. So in terms of ratings, 27% voted for the campsite one and 73% voted for the dog. So let's find out what books they are. Camp one belongs to Wildflower by Hannah Grace. This one follows 2 characters who meet each other at a camp and they can have a fling. The sequel, not a sequel, but it's part of the Icebreaker series, Hannah Grace as well. I absolutely love that book. The smut in the book was wow, and it was just a nice like college sports romance. I think it follows any of the characters in the first book. I don't know if it does or not, I don't know. And then the one with the dogs was Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I've actually been waiting for this book for such a long time to read. I bought it like months ago and I still haven't read it, but that is the one that actually won it. That's the one that got 73%. So this is the first one we're going to read. These books are both romances, so I put them all together, and I did the pink as well because obviously the covers are pink. This is the first book on my November TBR. Next we have these 2 books. One has a snowflake on it and the other one has a crown. So the snowflake one got 65% and then the crown one got 35%. The snowflake one belongs to A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I am actually quite happy that this one got it because I've been waiting to read the next book of this series. If you guys don't know, I've been obsessed with the ACOTAR series. I actually don't want it to end, but this one's actually a short, simple one. I think people said that this one actually just focuses on what happens after like the war and stuff, so I'm really excited to read that one. I think it's perfect for like cozy season, and I can't wait to delve into the rest of them. So that is also a fantasy. These both books are going to be fantasy books. The book that got the crown was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I'm actually a bit disappointed that I didn't get this one, just because this has been on my TBR for such a long time, like such a long time. If you go back to my old videos, this book I got before the ACOTAR series, and the fact that I'm like more than halfway through it and I haven't even started the series of this is just ridiculous. This one follows Jude and her sisters watch their parents getting murdered by Fairs, and they're basically sent to live as prisoners by Fairs, and as she's there she meets this guy who's a prince, and obviously the prince of the enemy if you think about it. So it's like enemies to lovers, fantasy book. This story is part of the series as well. But the next book we'll be reading is A Court of Frost and Starlight. Let's add that to the pile. Next we have this poll. This one's nice and black. I decided to go black with it because both of these books are dark romance. The book on the left has a rose on it and the book on the right has a ring. So the one with the rose belongs to Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carton. This one is a dark romance, as I've said. This features a girl who's getting like stalked by this guy. I think it's like a stalker kind of thing because it says it's a cat and a mouse, and basically like they fall in love even though they shouldn't, stuff like that. I don't really know much about it, but I've seen people talk about it all the time, and as I've said, dark romance is my little comfort thing, so I'm excited to maybe read this one. Other book, the one that had the ring, is Little Prince. This is another dark romance. It is like a mafia arranged marriage one. So this one got a 44% and Haunting Adeline got 56%. So this will be the next book on my November TBR. I'm so happy that I picked a range of genres because I love like delving into new genres, especially in the winter time. So obviously we have a fantasy right at the moment, we have a dark romance, and then we have more of like a cozy romance. The fourth poll is also a romance, but this one is a billionaire romance. So what I did is, obviously I'm a romance reader, so what I did is most of my books that I have on my TBR are romance books. So what I try to do is I try to like link certain books together for this poll. So obviously, as you saw, I had my dark romance, I had my cozy romance, we have like the billionaire romance, and then there's also like hockey romance, sports romance, that type of stuff. On the left we have the heart emoji. That one belongs to Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. This one is a arranged relationship. It's in a billionaire relationship, as I said. It is friends to lovers, I would say, because they become friends and then they become lovers with each other, and yeah, it's like a little Cupid kind of situation. They make a deal, obviously he has money, and everyone said this is actually a really good book, so it was time for me to start reading it because this has been on my TBR for a while too. The one with the little woman with like the purple hair belongs to The King of Pride by Anna Hughes, part of the Kings of Sin series. So there is the King of Wrath, there's King of Pride, and then there's the King of Greed. This is the second book. I haven't actually read the second book yet, so this is why it's on my TBR. I really liked the first book with Dom and Anastasia, I think it was. I don't even know. I read so many books with so many different couples, I can't even remember their names nowadays. This one follows Kai. Kai is a rich Asian billionaire and he is very grumpy. Like, he's a billionaire, he's grumpy, he makes his money and he just goes home. He meets Isabella. Isabella is free-spirited, she has purple hair, she does what she wants when she wants it, and it kind of starts off as Grumpies versus Sunshine trope. It has a small town romance, it's got obviously a billionaire romance, it's kind of like enemies to lovers. In terms of percentages, the one with the Cupid heart got 88% and the woman with the purple hair got 12%. That being said, and Not So Meet Cute was the one that had the heart, so that is the one that I'll be adding to my TBR. But because I really want to read The King of Pride, because I really want to get to The King of Greed because everyone boasts about it, I'm going to add it to my TBR. I really want to read it, and I'm in a mood for 2 billionaire kind of romances this month. It's just going to get me into like the ultimate like cozy season. I love watching like romances in the next coming months. Like even October I watched a few, so I decided I'm actually going to put that one on my TBR as well. Next we have the fifth poll. This one here, as you can see, is 2 purple books. The one on the left has a skating shoe and the one on the right has a ballet shoes. So the one on the left got 53% and the one on the right got 47%. So really close. But the one that won is the one with the ice skate. These 2 books, if you guys got to guess, is a sports romance. They're both actually hockey romances. The one with the skating shoe belongs to Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is part of the Chestnut Spring series. The third book in the series, I have read Flawless and Heartless. I'm obsessed with those books. The first one I gave a 4 stars and the second one I gave a 5 stars. So I'm really excited to get into the next book. This one follows Jasper. He is part of the family. It's a found family romance. It's also like a small town romance because they all live in a small town. Jasper is a hockey player in the NHL. Malone is actually his best friend, related to Boo and Cade in the other books and Rhett in the other book. And they see each other for the first time. She's actually married, so they kind of delve into that, and obviously they fall in love, friends to lovers. All we like, I love a good friends to lovers, and I've been waiting to get to Jasper's story. I don't know if I'm going to like it the best out of all of them, but I love a hockey romance as much as the next person. The one that belonged to the skate was The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. This is part of the Off-Campus series. It follows a group of friends. Each boy is from the hockey team, and basically they fall in love with different protagonists. The Legacy is actually the 5th book of the series. I think it's actually a flash forward of their lives since college. Pregnancy, there's going to be a wedding, we don't know whose yet, but this one is kind of like the finishing like epilogue to all the couples, seeing them what they are like later if they're still together. This is the one that got 53% and Powerless got 47%. Fortunately, that's not the book that got picked. Maybe it'll get picked for December. I will be reading The Legacy. I'm actually really excited to read this book because I can't wait to finish the series because I've enjoyed the series so much, and I can't wait to see how it ends. I want to see their flash forward, and I know with Elle Kennedy, she's coming out with a book called The Graham Effect, which is about Hannah and Garrett's daughter. So I really want to read this book, so I can purchase The Garrett Effect. But this is the next book I will be reading in November. Next we have another fantasy. So as you see in the photo, we have two books here. One on the left has some swords and the one on the right has a little witch. Following from that, the one with the swords is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This one is a fantasy romance. I actually don't know what this book is about, but I've seen people talk about it for ages, and it says hunter hunter destined for each other. So I'm just going to read the back for you because I don't know what it's about. I want to like read it and see what it says at the back. The extraordinary belong in the kingdom of Aya. The elites have possessed powers for decades, gifted to them by the plague, while those born ordinary are just that, banished from the kingdom of Aya and shunned from society. No one knows this better than Pandef Grey, an ordinary posing as a psychic to blend in with the elites. When she unsuspectingly saves one of the allies' princes, Kai Aiza, she's thrown into the purging trial brutal competition showcasing the elites' powers. If the trials and no opponents put in them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will if he discovers what kind it is. Completely ordinary. So this one is kind of like built on a lie because she's pretending to be someone that she's not, but I'm guessing she does it because otherwise she just gets mistreated. So I feel like she saves someone, she kind of falls in love with them. It's kind of like that type of thing, but it's kind of like a forbidden romance because they're not supposed to be together, and yet she saves one of the princes. So this is also like a royalty trope in it. People have spoken about this so much on TikTok, so that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. The next book had The Witch Belongs to the Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. One features Vivian. It says here, Vivian Jones handled the biggest breakup of her life the way any witch would. Vodka, bubble baths, and a curse on her ex. That was 9 years ago. Now Rise Penhallow, descendant of the town's followers, breaker of hearts and still irritatingly gorgeous, is back. Rise has returned to the quaint town of Graves Glen to recharge the ley lines and make an appearance of the annual Fall Festival. But when his every move results in calamity, Vivi realises that hexing her ex might not be so harmless after all. As the curse starts to affect the magic of the town, resulting in murderous wind-up toys, a outrageous ghost, and a surprisingly talkative cat, Vivi and Rise must put their personal feelings aside and work together to break the curse and save not just the town but also Rise's life. What I've seen about it is supposed to be like a fantasy comedy with the romance in it. Obviously she's a witch. I haven't really read anything that's like witchy vibes, which I'm actually excited for because I feel like this book is going to be a very light-hearted book, even though it has the storyline where she's trying to stop the curse that she put on her ex. I think that's going to be quite funny and seeing their relationship. I'm guessing this is like an enemies to lovers as well, or like exes to lovers kind of trope, and it's a nice simple book as well. I think for this month I picked a lot of easy reads. In terms of the ratings, the witch emoji got 60%, sword one I got 40%. That means this month we'll be reading the Ex-Hex. I'm excited to read this one. This is from Sara's video as well. She said this was a really good like autumn Halloween time. I know Halloween's gone now, but witchy stuff I feel like you can still watch up to November, December time. Like I love Harry Potter and that's wizards and that and witches, so this is gonna get me in the perfect mood for like cozy season. It seems very cozy and it reminds me a lot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, so I'm hoping it's going to be that kind of vibes. But that is going to be the next book that we read in November. But now let's go on to the 7th poll. We're nearly there. There's so many books and so many polls that I did, but we're nearly there. I decided to switch it up a bit. Next 4 books are completely different genres to what I usually read. So the next genre is actually going to be sad books. I am an emotional woman and reading sad books is something that I don't read often because I know I'm just gonna cry. I'm the person that watches like an advert and starts crying in it, so this is going to be a hard one for me. So I picked the highly recommended sad books that I've seen everywhere. One of them I got from TikTok and one of them I got from Alexa Ray. She does booktube as well, so if you watch her videos, go and watch her. I am obsessed with her videos and she speaks so much about the next book. Let's go to the poll first. So as you can see from the photo, one book has a daisy emoji and the other book has a football emoji. The one with the daisy emoji belongs to Archer's Voice by Mia Sheller. This is the one that I've seen Alexa Ray talk about a lot and I'm excited to read it. I'm hoping it doesn't end like sad because I know there's some books that are sad and they delve into like emotional topics, but it can still end happily. This one I've seen people talk about so much. I'm just going to read the blurb for you because I literally know nothing about this book. So it says here, I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Pelion, Maine, to forget everything I had left behind, the sound of rain, the blood, the coldness of a gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived and my dad didn't. I'm almost saved again. The moment I meet Archer Hale, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rights itself again. Until I trespass into his strange, silent and isolated world, Archer communicates with no one. Yet in his whiskey-coloured eyes, something tangible happens between us. There's so much more to him than just his beauty, his presence, or the way his hands communicate with me, on me. But this town is mired in secrets and betrayals, and Archer is the explosive centre of it all. So much passion and much hurt. In Archer's silence that we might just find what we need to heal and to live. And someone said at the bottom, a gorgeous tale of survival and the healing power of love. It sounds amazing. I'm hoping it's amazing. From what Alexa said in her videos, she has said that it's such an emotional read, not in a bad way, but in a way that you can relate to the characters, and the characters are in depth. So I'm actually excited to read it. I don't know if it's going to remind me a bit like The Notebook, like by Nicolas Cage. Like, I love his movies and I love his books, so I'm hoping it's kind of on the same lines. But if you know the way The Notebook ends, you don't want the same for this book. That is one of the books that had the football emoji is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. This one is a sad book as well, obviously, as you can guess. This one just says here, Autumn and Finn used to be inseparable, but then something changed, or they changed. Now they do their best to ignore each other. Autumn has her boyfriend Jamie and her close-knit group of friends. Finn has become that boy at school, the one everyone wants to be around. Still doesn't stop the way Autumn feels every time she and Finn cross paths, and the growing nagging thought that maybe things could have been different, maybe they should have been together. And as time passes, Autumn realises she might not get another chance to make things right before it's too late. You just saw my face when I read that last sentence. I felt chills. I'm not even joking. I just felt chills on my body. Is this going to be like a book where like he's got some type of illness? Because if it's that, I can't do it. If you've ever watched A Walk to Remember, that movie like owns my heart. It's the most saddest movies in the world, but it's actually one of the best movies in the world because it's so important, the messages of it. And this book is giving me the vibes of it. I don't even know what to say, so let's just look at what the poll said and who voted for what. So looking at the polls, as you guys can see, this one is a clear winner. As you guys could see, 100% of people voted for the daisy and 0% voted for the football. That being said, the one with the daisy was Archer's Voice, so that is the book we're going to be reading. I know it's bad to say, but I'm actually relieved because the way this sounds, I know my heart's going to break into two, and I don't know if I can actually deal with that at the moment, if I have the emotional capacity to do it. But the Archer's Voice, I don't know if this is going to end happily. I'm just hoping that it does, just for the fact that it says love story. We know not all love stories end happily, so I'm hoping it does. But that's going to be the next book on my TBR. But it's going to be a wild month. I can already feel it. I've got romance, we've got fantasy, we've got mystery, we've got sad. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have so much fun this month, like so much fun. That being said, it is now time to pick the final book. The final book is actually out of 2 mystery books. These books are a mystery / thriller vibes, and I can't wait to get into it. I haven't read any thriller, any type of crime books at all, and if you know me, I'm obsessed with Criminal Minds, I'm obsessed with like CSI, I'm obsessed with like, really excited to see which one I'll be reading. So if we look at this poll, the book on the left has a little knife and the book on the right has a detective. The book with the knife belongs to And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This one is a mystery book. This one's about a group of people, I think, that goes to an island, and as you can tell, And Then There Were None, I'm guessing they all die, but it's kind of like the book of like who kills who. And it just says here at the back, 10 strangers are invited to Soldier Island, an isolated rock off the Devon coast. Cut off from the mainland with a generous host, mostly absent, they are each accused of a terrible crime. Then one of the party dies suddenly, and they realise they may be a murderer in their midst. A murderer who might strike again and again. And all the time, copies of a macabre nursery rhyme hung in each room, a nursery rhyme with an omen of death for all 10 of them. Oh, I'm excited. It's by reading that. I'm excited. Like, I don't even know what book I'm gonna get, but just reading that just sounds really exciting. Next book, the one that has a detective, is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one's more of a criminal vibe. It's actually like criminal vibes but like teenagers. So it's about a group of friends or a group of teenagers, and they all like investigate crimes. And it just says here, Casey is a natural at reading people. Piecing together the tiniest details, she can tell you who you are and what you want. But it's not a skill that as she's ever taken seriously until the FBI come knocking. They've begun a classified program that uses exceptional teenagers to crack infamous cold cases, and Casey doesn't realise is that there's more at risk than a few unsolved murders, especially when she's sent to live with a group of teens whose gifts are as unusual as her own. Soon it becomes clear that no one in the Naturals program is what they seem, and when a new killer strikes, danger looms close. Caught in a lethal game of cat and mouse with a killer, the Naturals are going to have to use all their gifts to survive. Just reading that off the top of my head, I'm obsessed with Criminal Minds. I watched it as a child when you shouldn't have, and the fact they have a YA version of it, what more can you want? Like, what more can you want? It's actually part of a 4-book series. I recently bought the whole series because I've been seeing it everywhere, and I was like, I need to indulge. You need to come home with me. And I'm so excited to start reading the first book. The first book is obviously The Natural. So that is a book that I'm excited to maybe read. In terms of the ratings for the books, the one with the knife got 47%, which means the one that won is the 53%. That one belongs to The Natural. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually so excited that this book got picked. I've been waiting to read this one. This is actually from the best-selling author of the Inheritance games. I've never actually read any of those books, that series, but I do want to read it. What I love about this book is the fact that it is YA. Even though I'm a full-on 21-year-old, I'm a teenager. I'm a 21-year-old teenager. Don't forget that, please. Please don't forget that. This book, I feel like it's going to give me the ultimate cozy vibes. I think I'm just going to be like hooked from the day dot, and I'm so excited to read it. So this is the last book on my November TBR. I have so many books to read this month. I think we have about 9 books because one of the books I decided to actually scratch that and add it in as well, even though it didn't get picked. But if you guys want to see a full reaction to any of these videos, let me know. I probably will be doing a reading vlog on one or a few of them. I have a video coming out like shortly where I swap my screen time for reading, so maybe I'll pick some of these books. But I hope you guys have a blessed November. I can't believe we're in the month of November. Next month is Christmas, which I'm so excited for. I can't wait to do those cozy reading vlogs, those cozy, just normal day life vlogs as well. So if you guys want to see that, I'm really excited for the month of reading. And I have a good bunch of books. Some of these books are newer and some of them are older, which I love, because with me, I have my TBR that is so long, and my bookcase is now officially complete. I did a bookshop, a massive bookshop. A lot of these books, as I said, are new. If you haven't watched my book haul, go and watch it. If it's going to be out before or after this video, it is out after, then obviously my book haul will be coming for these books. This is just like a sneak peek of some of the books that I have, and yeah, I'm so excited. I keep saying that about 100 times. I don't think you guys want to hear me say it anymore. I'm so blessed to have all of you guys. Thank you for all my subscribers. We're nearly at 250 subscribers, which means we're a quarter away from being monetized, which is like, wow. I started off this channel with 0 subscribers at the start of this year, and to see that I'm ending on like that much already is just wow for me. I love you guys all so much. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year brings, not just with reading but my whole life. How are you guys doing? How's your week going? What are you guys excited for this month? Do you guys have any plans, any special plans? What are you reading this month? What is your TBR? I'd want to see that as well. As I said, follow my GOODREADS, my Pinterest, my Instagram, my TikTok, where you guys can see me more on there, especially my Instagram. I post basically every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like. I love making these videos, and I haven't actually done a TBR for a long time. Thank you, Sara, for giving me this idea. I loved watching your videos when you did it, and I'm sorry that I stole your idea, but it's actually such a good idea. And I hope you guys have a blessed month. As I always say, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!